evening, everyone. I am pleased to be with you tonight and to have a chance to introduce our guest speakers. Each will be talking to you about their values and traditions, the importance of the people they met, the hurdles they had to overcome, and the traditions that have been passed down for years. Now, give a warm welcome for our first speaker tonight. Jason Baylor is here to talk about how adopting can be a tradition. He will tell us a story on the insight he undertook to find out about his mysterious revelation of his life.
Hello everyone. I'm here to talk to you about a time in my life where I was always wondering what came up, what triggered my mind of why I'm here, why are they my parents? And took upon myself around my preteen years. Because my sister, me and her were hanging out one day, we were just talking, watching TV, and we were joking around about some things, saying, smack talking to each other. She's like, well, you're adopted, right? I'm like, you're joking, right? And it's one of those things that never dawned on me until I thought about, and I'm like, are you serious? Because one of those things when people joke around, you're like, you want to kind of question, the second time. Well, a few minutes after that day, or at that time of the day, I went downstairs. I'm like, hey mom, is this true what I hear Jennifer say? Or, and she's like, if you're curious enough, I'll tell you. I'm like, okay, well, I'll bite twice. I'm really curious. Am I adopted? Then she told me everything I needed to know. And so, standing here today in Missouri, I was born in Lima, Peru, South America. It's kind of right next to Chile. And don't know anything of it, never knew until my mom told me. Because all I remember is being raised and started growing up in kindergarten in Texas. So I was oblivious. And so, digging more about who I am, she even made a reference about me being adopted towards my grandma because there was a more bigger picture about what adopting is. And the family that you choose, you don't have much of a choice to be with, but for me, I was curious still. So, it goes from families, cousins, nephews, and siblings, and I'm proud to say I'm a sibling of two and a relative to a cherishing handful. And also I'm a proud uncle to two nephews and soon to be one niece. Today I'm going to tell about the glue that in many ways that keeps a family together, distance or close, and how maybe adopting is actually one value that some people don't really emphasize upon. And so, a few years after my grandma's passing, I'm going to jump forward, I've always wondered if there was a tradition or a family practice that stuck with my family for the incoming generations to come and to go. And I wondered if I partake on carry it myself one day. And knowing that possibly adopting may actually be a strong role in it, or an element, I pretty much found out that not only in our family, immediate, of the Baylors, I was adopted, me and my sister as well, that other families, because my grandma, they typically were adopted in our family as well. So, looking in a way, it all makes sense up to this day of the reasons why these three different families I never thought would be part of just my life, because just their last names really don't matter to my grandma, because literally she adopted whoever they were offspring from, and so on and so forth. And so as the holidays went by, as different seasons passed, I just took 1 minute, one day out of, say, this year, that I'm like, wow. After bonding with my cousins the whole time, without asking about what adopting is, it was like, it all made sense of the why we hung out, why we all got together at Christmas, why we all got together at Thanksgiving, and et cetera, and so on. And it just appears to me today that how special it is that for one woman that made it all happen, and just asking questions, it's like you wouldn't know what you would have took an appreciation about of why the family is and how it came to be. And so well, didn't know my grandma too well, but no, just learning more about her, it just made me more appreciate about what a family is made of. And and also using the term tradition can sometimes be used in a different way. And knowing I'm adopted with love and care, values of tradition, adoption isn't just a little small thing, just for just anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Next, we have someone here to speak about overcoming failure and how to bounce back when you are low. Here's welcoming Dylan.
Where's my time clock at? Are you ready? Thanks, Jason. Very good speech. It was very inspirational. But I'm here to talk about failure. Right? I'm sure nobody was like, woo, failure. But recently, I had a friend of mine who he dropped out of college, and he's not too happy about the decision, and he's looking at it like it's the end of his life. It's all over. It's all just downhill from here. And I want to talk about just getting over that and like how I look at it. And I want to start off by saying that I'm sure all of you in here have a weakness, and you know it. Like, I can't be this good looking and funny and incredibly smart, right? That would be fair to the rest of you guys. So, an example of that is I am absolutely terrible at English. I failed in high school. I came to college and I had to take 2 English classes, and it scared the crap out of me. And so I made it to the first one, just got right through it with a C, barely made it. And then the second one, I failed it. And I tried really hard, and I just couldn't do it. And so it's at a point of where I can look at it as, do I just drop everything I've worked for at this point? Or do I go right back in it, and overcome it? That's what I did. I put a lot of work into it, and I passed that class with an A. And so just shows that just hard work can get you through anything that you think you can do. And also want to talk about, growing from those failures. And don't let it hold you back and think of it as, I can never do that. Look at it and say, that is something I haven't done yet. So, an example that I'm sure some of you have heard, Bill Gates dropped out of college. Anybody in here heard that? All right. So I'm sure a lot of you know, he's a billionaire. Like Microsoft. He dropped out for, I think, 5 years before he went on to make Microsoft. And in that time, I'm sure he had a lot of doubts on things. But it just shows that if you stick to it, and you don't give up, and you have a plan, you can go really far. And from there, after you've done that, you can go back and look at your failures as a type of landmark. And what I mean by that is, you can look at it and say, wow, how far I've come from there. Like with my English class, I'm in here giving a speech that I wrote. It's like, I never thought I'd be able to do that. And another comparison I like to think of it as is with lifting weights. I don't know if any of you ever went weightlifting or any of that, other than the weightlifting club in high school. And on your first day you walk in there, you think you're a lot tougher than you are, and you quickly figure out that you can't bench press 400 pounds on your first day in the gym. So. And just as you go through it, you realize where you fail, and it gives you the motivation to keep going. And whenever you look back, and I haven't bench pressed 400 pounds yet, but the day I do, that'll be a day, I'll tell you that. So just to kind of review, don't get stuck on your mistakes and your failures and let them hold you back from your future. Just look at them as opportunities And don't be afraid to make mistakes. I see a lot of people get stuck in, I'm not smart enough to take that math class. I don't, just make excuses. Don't get stuck at that point. And a quote that I really like from Arnold Schwarzenegger is, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. If you get stuck on it and you never take the chance to do something, you can never do it. If you get stuck on those failures, you're never going to be able to do it. And so just do your best, stick through it, and just keep going on. Don't let it hold you down. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Next, we have a woman who will be talking about the importance of Thanksgiving and how it has impacted American culture for the past 300 years, bringing together family, culture, and food. Without further introduction, Madeline Van Lumen. Problem? Got it?
When we think of American traditions, we tend to think about Thanksgiving. Families gather at the dinner table and bond over a scrumptious meal of turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, Chinese food, mom's famous stuffing, hamburgers, the list goes on and on. But when the first Thanksgiving took place, it looked a lot different. 90 Native Americans and 50 pilgrims sat at a table feasting on lobster, clams, squash, fish, berries, and pumpkins. Definitely a far cry from what we ourselves consider a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. But it's more about the meaning behind the meal than it is the meal itself. Why is Thanksgiving important, one might ask? Thanksgiving disregards religion, nationality, and family. It does not matter where you come from or who you are. Thanksgiving brings people of all backgrounds together. Secondly, it promotes thankfulness. A meal made by love is shared with people that you are close with. Without these people, you would have nothing. No shelter, no food, no education, no family. Without these people, you probably wouldn't have much to be thankful for. Thirdly, it doesn't focus on the material things in life. Thanksgiving is an intangible present. It's not about giving and receiving. It's about remembering the people who give meaning to your life. For instance, if the Pilgrims didn't have the Native Americans, both would have suffered due to the harsh reality both faced when the previous drought struck. Perpetual friendship saved both groups from the grip of Mother Nature. As Thanksgiving nears, I want you all to remember that what I have taught you today. I gave a description of what a Thanksgiving meal to us might look like, compared to that of our ancestors. I told you why Thanksgiving is important. It doesn't matter who you are or where you can come from. Secondly, it's about being thankful. Thirdly, the focus of Thanksgiving is not to be materialistic, but to remember why family and friends are so special and important. Thank you for your time, and I hope your Thanksgiving is filled with love and memories.
Thank you, Madeline. Tonight we are also celebrating the joining of Terry and Megan in holy matrimony. Here is a few words from someone who has witnessed it all, the highs and the lows of their relationship and their adventure, and all of the excitement that comes with it. Please help me in welcoming the best man, Colton Ellis.
Fixing my beautiful tie. Wearing suits because it's a wedding. All right, guys. Well, as you know, Terry and Megan are awesome, really funny people, and Terry and I and some of the other girls have been serving in the military together. And Terry introduced me to Megan about 2.5 years ago, and at a point where Terry called himself the Prowler. He thought that he was just the most handsome guy in the world, and he said he would never settle down, ever. And boy was he wrong, because the second date, the second different girl he'd been with was Megan. Ever. At all. Before I get into what I want to talk about the relationship, you need to know what Terry looks like, if you don't. He's a very short, ginger, but very, very muscular, stout individual who's very, very particular about being so strong because he's so short. And he doesn't seem to get the concept that if you bench really hard and get really big muscles and you're short, you look shorter. I don't know what it is about that, but he's probably 150 pounds and a head length, shorter than me, and I weigh 150 pounds. So, just to put that out there. But the first thing I saw about Megan is every time we go to military drill, Terry has to eat like 1 billion carbs. Like he eats 18 meals. Every drill, he makes me carry this giant white cooler this big, filled with homemade meals that Megan made for him the few days before. Like 6 meals a day, like feasting, grilled chicken, rice, like a tuna casserole. Like it is the best food. Like I wish my girl would cook me like once a day, like let alone like 16 meals. And that just kind of contributes to how caring and how awesome she is. By the way, Megan is about 5'11", so she's really tall, and Terry's just not. So that's another thing that they kind of had to work through. She has to stoop down to kiss him. In fact, as you guys saw about 10 minutes ago, he had a stool to stand on and kiss her for the wedding. That's why I was filmed in front of a little fancy brick level. But other than that, they're great together. They're kind of like yin and yang. Terry's really hot-headed, and Megan's really just very compassionate and understanding. Besides their physical differences, I mean, I have never seen them have a huge disagreement where they just can't get past it. Like if they have an argument or some type of serious issue, either bills or family or something, they always seem to work it out right away. And Megan is kind of like that moderator, that girl that everybody's like, wow, she's just too sweet to yell. Like I've never seen her yell ever. And if you know Terry, you want to yell at him all the time. But I just want to give a toast to Megan and Terry and celebrate their life together. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Colton. Last but definitely not least, Kate Tippin introducing Spirit Night for the students of Bloomfield High School, a tradition that has gone on for years. As a cheerleader, Kate will describe the importance of school spirit and the tradition that has been at school.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight on this late evening. I know there's probably some things you could rather be doing instead of coming to play games at a high school, like your homework, just watching TV, whatever fun stuff. But thank you all for coming out. Spirit Night has been a tradition here since the 1950s. It always happens on the first night of homecoming week, and I'm so glad to get to share this with you as a cheer captain. We play games, we just encourage school spirit for the whole week. Now, school spirit is something huge here. We have an amazing pep rally, we have great staff here, our teachers are great, and our sports program is really good. School spirit helps with our, just to keep the sports teams up when they're on the court. I know as a volleyball player, it's helped me to hear someone chanting my name whenever I serve, or to even be able to rush the court whenever we win in a big game. So it's always great. I know that, it shows how good of a school we really are. If everyone's excited about what's going on, to have school spirit, that just shows everyone hey, it looks like a really good school. Now, what we always do tonight is we pin the grades against each other. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, that's all separate teams, and we play these really crazy games. I know one year we played this game where you sit on the floor and pass a basketball back to each other, only using your feet. So you have to lay down and put your feet in the air and turn and pass the basketball to other people. It was really difficult. It took us 4 tries for someone to actually win, because if you drop the basketball, you got to restart. So that game took a really long time. I know most of you have the presumption that the senior class always wins, which is kind of true. They're seniors, they have to win. It's their senior year.
but it's always fair. So each grade just needs to try their best, and you'll make it. So good luck tonight on your games, and thank you all for coming out.
Great speech, Kate. I want to thank you for lending your ears for tonight's speeches, and a big thank you to all the speakers for talking about their values and traditions that they had a chance to come across in their lifetime. Let's give one last round of applause for all of our speakers tonight.